Hello everyone, welcome to Kasyanno EZMath. We are now on lesson 23, algebra lesson, percents and simple interest. In this lesson, you'll learn how to use algebra to find the percent increase or percent decrease between two values and how to calculate simple interest. So in here we talk about percent. So what is the meaning of percent? In simple terms, the definition percent is an expression of number out of 100. So that is representation of a fraction, a part over a whole. So that is a number represented out of 100. And let's say we have an example that is 25%. That is equal to 25 over 100. As per the definition of percent, it is a number expressed over 100. So another one is 10%. That's the same way, 10 over 100. All right, so in another one could be, was 50%. That's 50 over 100. So all right, so what if we have a question that is what is 10% of 50? Let's say 10% of 50. All right, how are we going to solve that? So 10% is equivalent to 10 over 100. So all we have to do is make this, convert this into a fraction and multiply it by 50. So that is now 10 over 100 times 50. So cancel that up, cancel 0, so it's 1. And what we have left now is 5. So 10% of 50 is 5. What about, what if another question is like this, what percent is 5 of 50? So it's worded somewhat weird and kind of worded differently. What percent is 5 of 50? So we're talking about, we're trying to find the value of percent, in the value in terms of percent. So how are you going to represent that? Since percent is represented by fraction, part over a whole, so let x be over 100, so that's the percent. That's what we need to find. So is signal word, and then those are signal words. And what percent of, we're talking of part of the 50 is 5, so that is in here x over 100, that's percent of 50. That's what we're talking about. So x over 100 times 50 represents equal sign. So that's a signal word representing equal sign, is 5. All right, so in solving the equation, what we have to do is we have here, cancel the 0, and then 5 over 10, that's 1/2. So we ended up, the value of x will be, so in here, so x will be 2 times 5 is 10. So that is 10, and if we get the percent out of it, since the percent is expression of a ratio, x over 100, since x is 10, so that is 10 over 100, or we call that 10%. 10 over 100 is 10%. So what if we have another related question out of this given right here? What percent is 5 of 50? We just found that this 10%. And what if we have another question that is like in here, 10% of what number is 5? Earlier we just solved that problem, but the question is the other way around. Now we're trying to find the number that is 10% of that number is 5. So once again, so 10% of this signal word of, and then is right there. We're trying to signify the variable That is for that variable, that the number that we need to find out. So let x be the number. All right, and 10% of that number is 5. So first we write that percent in terms of fraction. That is 10% is 10 over 100. It signifies multiplication. So of is multiplication. That number, what is that number? X. And in S, is signifies an equal sign, and that is 5. So that's how to solve the word problem when it comes to these algebra word problems. And we ended up now 10 over 100, so cancel the 0. Now what we ended up is x over 10 equals 5. And then solve for the value of x. Therefore x is equal to 5 times 10. So that is 50. So we move on to our topic, next topic. That is percent increase. What is a percent increase? Well, if the number increases, then it should increase the percent. And how to explain it is if a value increases from 10 to 20, for example, so from 10 to 20, we can find the percent increase by subtracting the original value from the new value and dividing it by the original value. So how are we going to show that? So in here, let's say, as an example, a value of 10 now increases to, now the new value is now 20. So how much is the percent increase? The percent increase of that value. When a percent increase to occur, the new value will be higher than the original value. And the way to solve percent increase is subtract the old value from the new value and divide it by the old value. What does it mean by that? Old value is the original value. So to find the percent increase, that's how are we going to do it. So that means in here, it's increasing the value from 10 to 20. So that is subtracting 10 from 20. So that is 20 minus 10 divided by the original value, which the original value is 10. So that should be the percent increase. So that is now 20 minus 10 is 10 divided by 10. So what is that? It's 1. But then what is that 1 right there? That means it is 100% increase, right? Since finding the value of a percent, all we have to do is multiply 1 times 100. So that will become 100%. All right, that's the end. In this example, if we label these numbers over here, the values, so this is the new value, or new number, and the 10 is the original number. And the 10 again is the same way, original number. Okay, so in finding the percent increase, all we have to do is subtract the original number from the new number or new value divided by the original number. So our guide here is then the denominator will always be the original number. So that's what it means by that. The original number should be always on the denominator. And let's say, what if we have another problem? What is 10 after 100% increase? So that would be a new question. What is 10 after 100% increase? We're referring to the same problem right here. Since we have here 100% increase, what is 10 after 100% increase? So it's really clear that it became 20. It doubled. That's 100%, right? So how are we going to compute that one right there? So now we have a word problem over here. Now, what is 10 after 100% increase? So we're referring to this given over here. From 10 went up to 20, and the percent increase was 100%. Now the question is, what is 10 after 100% increase? We're referring to about to 20 over here, right? Since assuming we don't know that, so we represent the number as x. So let x be the new value, the new number, and percent increase 100%. So the original value is 10. So what do we have to do? Since the number is increasing, so we have to subtract the smaller value from the bigger value. Is like from here. So original value is 10. Subtract that one from the new value is x. So it would yield a positive numerator. All right. Since x is greater than 10, so we subtract 10 from x. So that will be now, so x minus 10 divided by, as I have just mentioned earlier, the denominator should always be the original value, which is 10 right here. So 10, right? And the percent increase is 100%. And we have to do is convert this 100% into a fraction or to a whole number to get rid of this percent sign. And the percent now is represented by 100%, and the denominator will always be the original number or original value. In this case is 10, so this goes down here as the denominator. And to find the value of x, we have to change this percent representation over here into fraction. The equivalent fraction of 100, the equivalent fraction is 1. Let's say that is 100 over 100. Substitute that value over here. Make this the right of the equation. We have now x minus 10 divided by 10 is equals to 100 over 100, or simply 1, since we're canceling the zeros right there, right? So it's just simply 1. So now we're solving for the value of x over here. So this is now x minus 10 divided by 10 is 1. X minus 10 divided by 10 is 1. This simply means also the same way written as 1 over 1. So simplify that, cross multiply. That is now x minus 10 equals 10 times 1. Alright, so simplify this equation. Let's move this to the right side. Negative become positive, so plus 10 right there. So we end up the value of x is equal to, let's say, the other way to explain this one right here is to get rid of that constant that we eventually move it to the right, is add 10 on here and add 10 on here also. Left side of the equation, you do the same way on the right side. So this now negative 10 plus 10 is cancelled. And we ended up adding 10 on the other side. So that is 10 plus 10 is, that's 20. X is equal to 20. Move now to the second part of our lesson, percent decrease. What does it mean by percent decrease? The new value now decreases. That means the original value is larger, and now the new value is lesser than the original value. So to compute a percent decrease, the formula to do this percent decrease is very similar to the one for percent increase. The only difference is subtracting the new value from the original value, and the similarity to both increasing and decreasing in percent is dividing by the original value. Alright, so let's do that. And here is a problem. We're referring to again to the previous example that we have, the number from increasing from 10 to 20, and now we're trying to get another scenario that the number is decreasing from 20 to 10. All right, so let's do that. So the example here now is the original value is 20, and now it decreases to just 10. So 20 is the original value. All right, and 10 is the new value, the new original value, the new one. Okay, and to compute the percent decrease, all we have to do is subtract. Always subtract which one is lower value. In this case, new values is lower, or the amount is lesser than the original value. So what we have to do is subtract 10 from 20, that is 20 minus 10 divided by original value. So the denominator would always be on, we're referring to the original value of here, which is 20. So that's how to compute the percent decrease. And now we have to compute this. 20 minus 10 is 10 divided by 20. And cancel the 0. That is now 1/2. So this is now 1/2. What does it mean by 1/2? What we have to do to, this is the fractional expression of percent. To express it in percent, all we have to do is multiply by 100. So this multiply 100 by 1/2 by 100. So that is now 100 over 2. 100 divided by 2 is 50. So that is now 50, called 50%. And if you notice, this is now 50% decrease from 20 to 10. And if you remember from the previous example, we have a percent increase. The number increased from 10 to 20. The percent increase was 100%. But the percent decrease from 20 to 10 is not 100% decrease, but is 50%. So if you remember that, so let's focus on that. And in here, if you notice our solution earlier, it's from 10 to 20, that's a percent increase of 100%. But it's somewhat different. We're thinking about the same if the value decreases from 20 to 10, goes back to the 10 was original over here, and now the original number is 20 now here, decreasing from 20 to 10, and the percent decrease is 50%, not 100%. But we're just referring to the same numbers, so it's not the same. Percent increase and percent decrease, even though we're talking about the same set of numbers, 10 and 20. So that's a big difference. 50% decrease, and the other one, that's 100% increase. All right, that's just, it's very important to point that out. So going back to our topic again, so in here, if you notice, this one right here, the denominator, that's the original number. So we're taking note of this. The denominator is always the original number. Whether decrease or increase, all you have to do is figure out to make your numerator positive is subtracting the smaller value from the bigger value. Right? In here, percent increase, that's the same way. 20 minus 10. The same way from here, 20 minus 10. But we're talking about decrease over here. So, but the big difference is that the original number is now 20, not 10 from earlier. So that's why the original number will always be in the denominator. All right, that's a very important note. Solving percent decrease or percent increase. All right. So in those previous examples, we didn't use much algebra solving the problem. But in here, we'll be using a little bit more algebra in solving a problem. Percent decrease. So let's do that. Now we have an example word problem over here. This is now after a 50% decrease, a value is now 10. What was the original value? So in this problem, actually, this word problem is referring to these given values over here. And just to figure it out, so how do we figure out? That's why I referred to this previous example over here in percent decrease. So I formulated a problem out of that, so get everything cleared. All right. So in here, the given is 50% decrease, and the value is now 10, so that's a new value. And what's being asked over here is the original value. So let x be the original number or original value. Original value or original number, doesn't matter. And now 50% decrease. So, and we have that the new value is 10. So what we're going to do now is solve for the value of x. All right, so we're on percent decrease. So the original value is x and the new value now is 10. So which is bigger, the original value or the new value? So since this is a decrease, the original value is bigger, and that's the original value, that's x. So and the new value now is 10. That's why we're subtracting 10 from x, since the original value is greater than 10. So we would arrive at an answer that is positive, not negative. So that's what it means by that. And divided by what would be the denominator. Since x is the original value, so that would be the denominator. And then we equate that to, what is that? 50% decrease. So 50%. So we write that 50% over here. And then once again, what we have to do, since this is our numerical value, is we have to convert this 50%, since this is a numerical value, not a percentage value. So we have to convert that 50%. 50% is equal to, that's 50 over 100. To get rid of that percent sign right there. So that's 50 over 100. So, or that's 5 over 10, since canceling zeros. And now the equation now is x minus 10 divided by x equals 5 over 10. 5 over 10, or simply as 1/2. So we just do it 1/2. So that's divide 1 over 2 is divided by 5 here. Both sides, numerator and denominator, that will become 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2, so it's 1/2. For the value of x, all we have to do is cross multiply. Right, this is now 2 times x minus 10 in parentheses, since these are together, and then x times 1 cross multiply is equal to x. Now since we have parentheses over here, distribute the 2. Alright, property of numbers, multiplication over addition, or distributive property over addition or subtraction. Right, so that is now 2x. Since this is minus, that's minus. 2 times 10 is 20 equals x. And from here, combining like terms, that will be now transposing this to the left and transposing this constant to the right. So the normal way, conventional way of doing that is subtracting x over here and subtracting x over here. And the same way, since we have 20 right there, that means adding 20 over here. And if you do that on the left, you have to do it on the right. So it's adding 20 also. So this simply means cancel this 20 right there, and then minus x on the bottom. That will become 2x minus x, that is x, equals on the right side. Since x minus x, cancel that. What we have, since we added 20, so this, the right side will be 20. Alright, so value of x is equal to 20. Now we move on to the last part of our lesson, lesson 23, simple interest. The formula, that is I is equals PRT, where I stands for interest, the money earned, and P stands for the principal, or the money invested, called principal, and R stands for the rate, the interest rate of the investment, that is in terms of percent per year, and T stands for the time of investment, or how long the investment has been kept invested, and that is in terms of year. Sometimes time is expressed in months. So in here, the very important note over here, when it comes to rate and time, the unit, to acquire the unity in units of this rate and time, sometimes time is expressed in months. And what we have to do is convert it into a year. Since the interest rate is normally in percent per year, and sometimes this is expressed in months. So we have to convert that month in terms of year, period of investment. So here, formula I is PRT. So these are all variables. What does it mean by that is if these are all unknowns, any three of this part of the equation given, we can find the value of the fourth one. Just in case, if we have the value of I and principal and the rate, we can solve for time. And any other of these variables over here can be solved if the other three variables are given. All right, so let's start solving problem. Now we have a problem to solve, and it says this way. If $150 in interest is gained over 6 months at the rate of 10% per year, how much was the principal? So the givens are 150, the interest, the money earned, and period of 6 months. This is the time, and at the rate 10% per year. So the unit is percent per year. That's rate. Whenever you see rate over here, is the interest rate of the investment, and what's being asked is the principal. That means the money invested, like say for example deposit in the bank. All right, so in here we're trying to find the value of principal. So once again, we go back to the formula. I is PRT. When any three variables are given, we can find the fourth variable that is not given. That's the one that's being asked. All right, so in here, principal. So what we have to do is write the whole equation and substitute those given out of that problem and solve for the principal. It's from the formula I is PRT, and given is the interest. So I is 150, that's dollars, and then time T is 6 months, and then the rate, that's interest rate, that's 10% per year over here. And if you notice, the time is 6 months, not 60. So that's 6 months. All right, my mistake. So that's 6 months. All right, so to gain unity in units, so we have to go to deal with this rate over here that is expressed in 10% per year. So this means we have to convert this 6 months into year. 6 months is equivalent to how much in a year? That's 0.5, right? Since 1/2 it stands for 0.5. 0.5 now unit is year. And now we can solve the variable P that principal is being asked. So to solve for the value of P, all we have to do is manipulate the equation, right? So to get the value of P, right, all we have to do is from that formula, I is equals PRT. So to get rid of other two variable RT over here, and to clear the principal by itself, all we have to do is divide this by RT, divide this by RT also. Since dividing that, we'll cancel R, cancel T. What we have left now is P. And on the other side, we have R and T on the bottom. So this is now I over RT equals P, since R and T are cleared. So in here, since we're solving for the principal, the conventional way is normally we move the other side, the P on the left side. That's the conventional way of solving that. So that's how it's represented, I over RT. Now we go back to our given, where I is the interest earned. So this is now 150 divided by, that's in terms of dollars, rate is 10% per year. And to convert 10%, what is that in terms of fraction or decimal? That is 10 over 100, right? So cancel 0, that's 1 in a 10. So we write that was 1 over 10, or is 0.1. That is 0.1. Alright, so that's 10%. We move the decimal places to the left twice. 1, 2, okay. So that is now, rate is, that is 0.1. Now that is now decimal, in decimal form, so that is now per year. That's what it is right there. And the time now here is, now from the unit is expressed in months, converted to year, that is 0.5 in a year. So that is now multiplied to 0.5, and the unit here is year. And if you notice, the units now in this formula should be in terms of dollars. And if you notice, the denominator, see, this is also expressed the same way as year divided by year. Since year appears on the denominator, the unit of this now is 0.1 per year, the rate, percent per year, and now in the decimal formula, that's 0.1 per year. So year divided by year, so that's cancels. And what we have now is the same thing as you put this YR on the directly underneath that. That's the same way. So that's what it means by that. So cancel that. We end up with just the unit is dollar. And 150 divided by 0.1 divided by 0.5, what is that? So that is 150 divided by 0.1 times 0.5, that is 0.05, right? Since doing long multiplication, decimal places, in terms of decimal, 0.1 times 0.5, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 0 is 0, 0 times 1 is 0, 0. Count the decimal place, that is now 5, then 1, 2, so 1, 2. So decimal place is right here, 0.05. In solving for the principal, P now is equal to, that's a dollar, so 150 divided by 0.05, where 0.05 is written the same way as that's equivalent to, since 1 over 0.05 is equivalent to 20. So this is now without using calculator, so that's the same way as so 150 times 20. Alright, so P now is equal to 15 times 2 is 30, and add 2 zeros. So that is, the principal is $3,000. Or you can solve for the value of P by using the just punch in your calculator and save this, get the answer of P right away, 3,000. Alright, we have just covered all the parts of our lesson on lesson 23, percent and interest. Now to conclude our lesson, when it comes to percent decrease and percent increase, it's like in our example earlier, percent increase and the percent decrease, the point over here, take note, is the original number should be on the denominator. And when it comes to percent increase, the numerator will always be the difference between the higher and the lower values, like the same way over here, difference between the higher and the lower values. And the denominator, once again, would always be the original number. All right, okay. And the last part is simple interest, where we have the formula I is PRT, and these are all variables. And take note over here is the units of rate and time. Whenever there's the rate of interest, like in here is expressed in percent per year, the time must follow. That means the unit of the time should follow whatever is the unit of interest rate. Like, for example, this is expressed in months. So these were expressed in months. You have to convert it into a year equivalent. All right, so in here, IPRT, whenever any three of these variables are given, you can solve the fourth variable, t, or any one of the variable, whenever three of the variables are given. All right, and so that's all for this lesson, lesson 23, percent and simple interest. Next lesson will be lesson 24, sequences. That is arithmetic and geometric sequences by using algebra. And once again, before I let you guys go, you have problems to solve as practice problems to solve at your convenience. You can do it anytime you want, at the comfort of your home or your convenient time, whichever way. And so here are the problems for you guys to solve. On the left side, percent increase and decrease. On the right side, simple interest problems with the corresponding answers for you to compare your answers and solutions with it. And the same way on the right side, simple interest problems, we have 4 problems with their answers also on the right. And all right, so that's all for now. And next lesson will be lesson 24, arithmetic and geometric sequences using algebra. For those new to my channel, so you get updated, hit that notification bell, and like and subscribe for more videos. I will see you in the next videos. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.